What did Rhett and Link do differently to practically corner the daily talk show market on YouTube? Let's talk about that. Good morning, I'm Joinen, and today we're going to be dissecting Rhett and Link with a heavy emphasis on GMM. Last time when we dissected Casey Neistat, click the card up there or the link in the description to watch that one, we briefly discussed the branding before picking apart the content of the videos themselves. Rhett and Link definitely deserve this treatment too. In fact, probably all YouTubers do. So that's just a thing from now on. Moving on. Rhett and Link have incredibly strong branding built on an incredibly long history. The fact that it feels so very wrong to say Link and Rhett is proof of, at the very least, the most basic form of branding. Everything from their logo to their trademark color, to their Mythical Biz community, website, thumbnail, social media presence, mascots, merchandise, theme songs, and even their hair. Rhett and Link have Googled list of ways to increase branding and have taken all 99 suggestions very seriously. Rhett and Link, along with YouTube advisors and specialized employees, I'm sure, have created the perfect example of pure, effective, abundant branding. If you need inspiration for your branding adventures, then look no further. A lot of these things are straightforward and cover themselves, but let's briefly discuss a couple of Rhett and Link's branding methods. A logo is some of the most basic branding, and typically people get the point. A graphic that adheres to a product, so upon seeing the graphic, the viewer thinks of the product and everything that means. It's the visual version of a brand name. The heads of Rhett and Link are an easy choice because there's no risk of disassociation. You know how when you play that guess the brand game on your phone and you're like, I definitely know this one, I've seen it a bunch, I just can't think of what it is. The chances are that if you recognize the cartoon version of their heads, you're going to remember their names and what they are too. One thing we don't always think about is branding color. This often boils down to some basic psychology. Every takeaway joint is red because somehow subconsciously we associate that with hunger, warmth, or food. Green is typically environmental, fresh, safe, or growth. Though I'd say, judging by the rest of Rhett and Link's branding, the green is more to fit with a foresty kind of vibe. I mean, yeah, just pick whatever color you want and chances are it'll fit your intended vibe anyway. Their merchandise and frequent release of new products is advertisements that viewers pay to flaunt. But it also instills a sense of pride and belonging. A viewer that owns the shirt, poster, or beard ointment is a true viewer who, after putting in real money and buying real things, now perceives themselves as a higher tier fan. So you can begin to see how merchandise is a worthwhile investment, even if they are selling at cost or a loss. I doubt they are, but don't underestimate the mega fan, or the ability to enable the mega fan. Before moving on, let me point out that I don't think there has ever been a more scandalous haircut in YouTube history. This is just due to Rhett and Link's heavy branding ties to their hairstyles. So branding plays a heavy part in the success of Rhett and Link, but all that would be for nothing if it wasn't for their content. Rhett and Link were doing skits and sketches for the longest time, but as YouTube grew and changed the type of content they looked for, so too did Rhett and Link shift directions. Firstly, GMM is family friendly. Sure, there are a couple of innuendo, but anyone who goes back to watch their favorite childhood movie will learn that this has always been present in family friendly content.
Lucky God?
Their content is also not specialized, nor targeted at a niche. No prior knowledge or experience is required to watch GMM, and unlike with daily vloggers, there isn't a sense of falling off the bandwagon. With daily vloggers' content, there is a sort of narrative that plays out across the videos. If you miss a few, you feel like you have to go back and watch them. While this can be seen as advantageous because it drives viewers back to your previous videos, it also has some negative effects. If a viewer falls too far behind, they may feel like they've missed too much to continue watching, and to go back and watch all the episodes they've missed would take too long. Whereas with GMM, there is little, if any, overarching narrative, so while viewers may not have that strong incentive to come back each day, if they fall out of that routine, they will find it easy to jump back in at any point. Not to mention, new viewers will feel at home quickly as they won't feel ostracized or out of the loop in any way. Rhett and Link have found a way to get away with clickbait. Their actual content is clickbait stuff. If clickbait is biting onto a worm, then all of a sudden you're being eaten for dinner. Rhett and Link's clickbait is biting onto a worm, then all of a sudden you're seated for fine dining at Rhett and Link's table of worm buffet. Yeah, it's clickbait, but they're not lying, it's the actual content. They're like a less obnoxious BuzzFeed. The thumbnails of Link eating a scorpion? Well, click the video. He's actually eating a scorpion. Every video has the potential to drive in new viewers who know nothing about them, because just about every video they make is universally interesting. Rhett and Link have the history of making ridiculous videos combined with some smart, witty humor, and they've turned that into a daily venture. How could anyone else possibly compete? In fact, Rhett and Link themselves tried to kickstart a similar channel, The Hey Hey Show, featuring Candace and Shannon, a couple of years back, and that, despite heavy endorsement on Rhett and Link's behalf, did not turn out. Due to a couple of reasons, but not the least being the fact that they just weren't Rhett and Link. People followed Rhett and Link to their daily talk show because they liked Rhett and Link. So what about cinematography and editing? Surely there's not a whole lot going on there because it's just the daily talk show. Think about the fact that each episode is 10 to 15 minutes, then think about what happens in an episode. I would bet that there are far more sneaky cuts going on here than they would have you think. Notice how there are no gaps between talking, and I would probably bet my money on the fact that there are, at the very least, many brief moments of silence that have been cut out. Close-ups of each Rhett or Link, or what they are holding, is a useful masking technique for the cuts. You will never see a jump cut like this in a GMM episode, but if you did it like this, it makes it much harder to detect the cut. So while the mini shots help Rhett and Link adhere to the 11-second standard that I explained in my Casey Neistat video that I mentioned earlier, card up there, a link in the description, it also helps mask some of the cuts they do to achieve a quick, concise video. Now for a Joinen exclusive, let me show you what I mean.
Hello, I am Joinen and welcome to Let Me Show You What I Mean, the most popular and only game show here on Joinen where after I talk about something, I show you what I mean. Today we have 3 lucky contestants, the first of which is the one that has no cuts.
Good political morning. So Brett, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I got you this from Italy.
Thanks, Mink. I didn't get you anything.
Good. Awkward, but showcases my point perfectly. Next up we have the jump cut.
I got you this from Italy.
Thanks, Mink. I didn't get you anything.
Many use the jump cut, I use it plenty, but many are looking for a more natural, free-flowing kind of vibe. Our next contestant claims to have solved the cut problem for all of us. Let's take a look.
I got you this from Italy.
Thanks, Mink. I didn't get you anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have ourselves a winner. Give a round of applause to the sneaky cut.
Cut the silences and any bits you don't want out and mask them with close-up shots. Close-ups are your band-aid shots. In actuality, they don't have to be close-ups. Even in this video, I minimized jump cuts by showing clips of Rhett and Link. Your band-aid shots can be anything. My point is that whether Rhett and Link are cutting considerable amount of footage out of their final cuts or not, they're definitely using techniques that would indicate that they are. So you can decide for yourself. Just try pay close attention to it next time you're watching GMM. That or Rhett and Link are just extremely quick thinkers who respond instantly and manage to cover all the content they need to in the 10 to 15 minutes. I'd say it's a mixture of both just to cover my bases. I think I've spoken long enough, so let's bring the conversation down into the comments. Let me know what techniques you think Rhett and Link are using that separates them from the rest, and also let me know who you think I should dissect next. I'm having a lot of fun with these, so let's keep this going.